he says, "Nothing you love can ever be forgotten." And I think that's my favorite line of the movie.
Cailey, thank you so much for taking the time with chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If is such a beautiful film. It really is. It's such a beautiful piece. What excited you to be a part of it?
Just everything, honestly. Whenever I first auditioned for it, the only thing that I knew was that John Krasinski was directing, and it was a fun family movie. And I was immediately signed on just because I love John and I knew of him from The Office. So I mean, I was just immediately signed on to it, but as I found out what the story was about and how special it was, I just became very attached to it. So I don't know if I'll ever do something so special to me ever again. Hopefully, but
Well,
the movie will always hold a very special place in my heart.
what is it about it that's so special to you? It seems like you're really connected with your character in the film.
Yeah, I just think that it has a very special message. Obviously, it's an original film, which is really cool. So I was very lucky to be a part of that. But I love my character. I love the way it was written. John is the best of the best. We had an amazing cast. And I don't know, I just think that the story is really unique and cool. And um, I got really touched by all of the different messages that it sent out.
And I mean, of course, John. I know John wrote and directed it, and he's also playing your dad in the film. What was it like working with him? I know you say you knew him from The Office, but it seems like this was a real passion project for him.
Yeah, I think so. Well, first of all, I feel very honored to have worked on this movie. I know it means so much to him. So I feel very lucky that I got to be a part of it. But it means so much to me now too. John is literally the best of the best. He's so amazing in everything that he does. He did everything. He wrote, produced, starred, directed for this movie. He worked so hard. He's one of the hardest working people I know. And I think it really paid off. I just feel very lucky to know him. He's one of the sweetest people ever. He's hilarious. But he's also very dedicated, and I think that makes him really special.
He really seems to be. And now I know, I mean, you've been on set with some sets that are, pretty big budget before. I know. I mean, but in this particular film, there's a lot of CGI work. You're interacting with a lot of CGI characters, and then what was that like for you?
Well, I was really nervous whenever I first was introduced to the idea of most of our cast being imaginary, just because I didn't know what to expect. You know, you watch all these behind the scenes of like Avengers or something, and they're on like a blue screen. So I'm like, oh, is that what we're gonna do? Like those people are really advanced, and I'm just like getting started. I don't think I can do that. But thankfully, John wanted to do everything practically, so we weren't on that level. They're very professional. I am not. But we had a lot of physical things. We had puppets, we had stuffed animals, we had actors there for some of our ifs. So we always had something to interact with. And we always knew what the ifs looked like. So we never had to guess.
Oh, that's good. That would be so important.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of the things that really intrigued me about the film, I love one of the opening lines. It says, the most important stories we have to tell are the ones we tell ourselves." I was wondering what that meant to you.
Oh, geez, that's a good question. Um, I've never been asked that before. Well, I'll say, I know this is not what you asked, but I'm gonna talk about this anyways because I really want
Sure.
to. One of my favorite line in the movie, I think, is from Lewis. He says, what does he say? Oh my God, I just forgot. Oh, he says, "Nothing you love can ever be forgotten." And I think that's my favorite line of the movie. Honestly, I have a really bad memory, which is not something that I'm proud of. But I was really nervous that I was going to forget filming the movie just because I wanted to remember it so badly. But I was scared I was going to forget. And I was telling Ryan that I was scared that I was going to forget filming. And he told me the best way to remember your time shooting a movie is to watch it. So the first time I watched it, all of the memories that I had came rushing back. And Lewis talks about that is you can just close your eyes and you can just remember. So I was a hot mess the first time I watched the movie because Lewis was talking about exactly what I was going through. And I could just remember everything that was happening. So thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Ryan. Now I can remember forever what it was like and I'll never forget.
Another big question, and it just stems right out of my watching of the film, because so much of this film to me feels like trying to hold on to or reclaim that sense of wonder, of beauty. And I was wondering, you know, do you think that we ever have to lose our sense of wonder, or how do we keep it?
I don't think so. I think that's what the movie is about. I think a lot of people feel like the older they get, the less fun they can have, or the less wonder or imagination they can have. But that's not the case. It doesn't matter how old you are. Even when you're old, you don't have to grow up. You have to do the dishes, okay, you have to do your laundry, but you can still have fun and you can still have your ifs by your side. And I think that's one of the many messages that is in our movie. But I know
Mm.
whenever I'm older, I'm still gonna have chocolate cupcakes for breakfast and I'm still gonna do cartwheels around my house. So
I love that. I love that. And I really wish that I was having chocolate cupcakes for breakfast. I wish that's what I had today. Honestly, it's such a beautiful film. It's such a,
thank
and you're
you.
wonderful in it. Ryan's great in it. The cast is fantastic. What do you hope people take away from If?
Well, like I said, I think there's a bunch of messages in the movie. I think it's up to everyone's own imagination what they take away from it. For me personally, I have always been a little bit scared to grow up, and I still kind of am. It's just very scary to think about, but I've learned that it doesn't have to be scary to grow up, and that you're never alone with any problem that you may have. Everyone goes through stuff, and you'll always have someone to relate to, whether it be your friend or your
You're never really alone,
right.
as we get in the film. And I'll tell you this: no matter how old you get, you're always afraid of growing up. It never goes away. So honestly, Cailey, thank you so much for the time. It's a joy to speak with you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.